This morning I talk about the Shambhala warrior in that the the spiritual practice has two pieces to it. The Shambhala warriors have a, what do you call that, Josh? The like the weapon.
I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right,
Yeah.
but it's like a dorje.
Doje,
It's
doje,
two
yeah.
different
Yeah.
heads on one side.
Yeah, it's a doje.
It's like a ritual
Yeah,
instrument.
it's like this, and then the other one is like this. It's a bell. Okay, you've seen this. Right? All the Tibetan monks, they do it like this. Okay, so they are symbolic. They're symbolic of two things. They're symbolic of wisdom. Actually, we call it panya, which is a different level of wisdom. And then the other one is symbolic of compassion. And the idea is that when you practice spiritually, you have to find that balance between a practice that is focused on self-discovery, self-discipline, and another practice which has to do with loving kindness, compassion, empathy, and so it's as if, and equanimity, so it's as if one is clockwise and one is counterclockwise. So I suspect most of you here feel like you're practicing the self-discipline part, self-discovery part, because you're doing that on your own, right? One by one. In reality is that I'm actually practicing the other side. That's why I'm here, is I'm practicing the compassion, the loving kindness, the empathy, and the equanimity. It's only when I'm practicing by myself that I practice the self-discipline. So those are the two things that we have to do. So as time goes on, I realize that the morning class is more about, for me anyway, the morning class is more about the self-discipline, or what we call the arahant path. Whereas the afternoon one, the 6 o'clock one, to me, maybe it's the time of the day, it's a little bit more the compassion one. And which makes sense because we're in a sitting position. Many of you who communicated with me directly are caregivers like myself, or that you're care receivers, bonded to a chair and so forth. So I wanna take this opportunity to give you a blessing. It's part of our Metta practice, but it's very brief, very, very brief. This actually comes from the Metta Sutta. The Metta Sutta is Metta is loving kindness. So there's a story behind this Metta Sutta, that one day a group of monks met with the Buddha, historical Buddha, and learned meditation from him. So afterwards the monks were very happy, and they went into the forest thinking that they would practice the self-discipline way, the Arahant way. And they each took one tree because they think that this is, each one has his own place. And they started to meditate. And so this is a forest, old growth forest, obviously. And of course they have tree spirits that lives in the tree. And the spirits, once they realize that these monks are coming, these are very enlightened individuals, they didn't feel right to recite above the head. That would be disrespectful. So they decided that they would just leave and let them have the space. But they didn't realize that they were going to stay there for this long. And now the spirits were very unhappy because they're not used to living off the ground or whatever. They're used to living off the tree. So they got together and says, well, these guys overstayed their welcome. We got to get them out of here. So they started to make all kinds of noise, all kinds of crazy things to disturb these monks. And the monks finally couldn't practice anymore. So they went to the Buddha. And the Buddha says, no, you're doing it wrong. You're so focused on your own practice, you forgot how you're affecting others. So Buddha taught him the Metta Sutta, which is to first provide loving kindness to all beings. And it's only after that that they were able to live in peace. So this is not a very long one, but we don't have time to even go to the short version. So I just put one verse. I took one verse. And I think it would be a good thing for us to do every time we finish. Just one verse. And this is done in the original language of Buddha, in Pali. And by the way, I was taught by a Theravada monk, not Master Guru, but Master Guru's Dharma brother, who's a Theravada monk from and there's a direct lineage from the historical Buddha. So as I chant this, I want you to think that you're receiving this blessing as if you're receiving it from the Buddha himself. I want you to put your hands together. It's very short. Just one verse repeated 3 times. This mudra, this hand gesture, represents humbleness, respect, and gratitude. Sabe sata sugi hantu sabe sata sugi hantu sabe sata sugi hantu. So until we see each other again next week, I want you to be blessed and be safe, healthy, and happy.